Enceladus is a small moon that orbits Saturn about 148,000 miles away. From its surface, Saturn would appear enormous in the sky, with its giant rings and powerful storms dominating the view. The moon is only about 313 miles wide. In fact, it is so small that it could fit comfortably inside the state of Arizona. At first, Enceladus did not seem like a place where life could exist. Its surface is covered by a bright layer of solid ice. It reflects almost all the sunlight that reaches it, making it one of the brightest objects in the solar system. Because it reflects so much sunlight, the surface is incredibly cold, reaching temperatures of about -330 degrees Fahrenheit. When NASA's Cassini spacecraft arrived at Saturn in 2004, scientists believed Enceladus was nothing more than a frozen, lifeless world. But when Cassini flew past the moon, it detected something strange. Saturn's magnetic field was behaving in an unexpected way around Enceladus. It was as if something near the moon was pushing against the magnetic field. To investigate, scientists sent Cassini in for a closer look. What it discovered was surprising. Enceladus was not a quiet, frozen rock. It was active and erupting. Even more exciting, recent studies suggest these eruptions contain some of the basic ingredients needed for life. Near the moon's south pole, Cassini spotted 4 huge cracks running across the icy surface. Scientists nicknamed these cracks the Tiger Stripes and named them Alexandria, Cairo, Baghdad, and Damascus. From these giant fractures, Enceladus blasts huge geysers of water vapor, ice, and gas into space. These powerful jets shoot hundreds of miles above the surface at speeds greater than 800 miles per hour. The eruptions on Enceladus are so powerful and never seem to stop. The moon's gravity is too weak to pull all the material back down. Instead, the ice and water are blasted into space, where they spread out and form Saturn's outermost ring, known as the E-ring. In other words, Enceladus is creating part of Saturn's ring system with water from its own underground ocean. The fact that water is shooting out of this frozen moon tells scientists something incredible. There must be a large ocean of liquid water hidden beneath its icy surface. Measurements show this underground ocean is about 6 miles deep, almost as deep as Earth's Mariana Trench. But how can water stay liquid so far from the sun, where everything should be frozen? The answer is gravity. Enceladus is not alone as it travels around Saturn. It is constantly being pulled by a nearby moon called Dione. Their orbits are perfectly linked. Every time Dione goes around Saturn once, Enceladus completes 2 orbits. Each time the 2 moons pass one another, Dione's gravity gives Enceladus a gentle tug. This pull stretches its orbit into an oval shape instead of a perfect circle. Because of this oval orbit, Enceladus moves closer to Saturn and then farther away over and over again. When it gets closer, Saturn's powerful gravity stretches and squeezes the moon. When it moves farther away, the pressure eases. This constant stretching and squeezing happens again and again. Deep inside the moon, rocks rub against each other, creating a huge amount of heat through friction. Scientists call this process tidal heating. Think of it as a giant natural heater hidden inside the moon. It keeps the ice from freezing all the way through, melting it from below and maintaining a deep underground ocean, even nearly 900 million miles away from the sun. The discovery of a liquid ocean so far from the sun completely changed the way scientists think about where life might exist in our solar system. Suddenly, the frozen outer edges of the solar system didn't look so dead anymore. In 2015, NASA dropped Cassini to an altitude of just 30 miles above the surface and flew it directly through the erupting plumes at 19,000 miles per hour. As it tore through the geysers, an instrument called the Ion and Neutral Mass Spectrometer physically tasted the alien water. In earlier passes, scientists had detected simple organic molecules like methane and ethane. But the word organic in chemistry simply means a molecule contains carbon. Simple organics are abundant in the universe. You can find them on dead asteroids and floating in empty nebulas. They do not automatically mean biology. But a landmark paper published in 2018 analyzing that deep dive data revealed something entirely different. Cassini detected complex organic macromolecules. These were heavy, intricate structures containing hundreds of atoms, forming complex carbon rings. These are the heavy-duty chemical structures required to assemble amino acids, build proteins, and eventually construct living cells. To figure out what was happening at the bottom of the Enceladus Ocean, scientists looked at the bottom of our own. Plunging thousands of feet into the Atlantic Ocean, far removed from any sunlight, there are deep cracks in the Earth's crust, known as hydrothermal vents. Here, boiling, mineral-rich fluid heated by the magma within the Earth spews out of limestone chimneys and mixes with the freezing seawater. This violent interaction triggers a geological process called serpentinization. The iron and magnesium-rich rock reacts with the seawater, producing heat, hydrogen gas, and the exact kind of complex organic molecules Cassini tasted at Saturn. Surrounding these vents on Earth are thriving ecosystems of tube worms and bacteria that survive entirely on chemosynthesis, eating the chemical energy spewing from the rock. The data from Cassini strongly suggested a similar process is happening right now inside Enceladus. We had the deep water, the heat, and the complex carbon, but for years there was a massive piece of the puzzle missing. Astrobiologists look for a specific chemical recipe to determine if a world is truly habitable. It is an acronym called CHNOPS. It stands for carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, and sulfur. These are the 6 essential building blocks of all known life. Cassini had easily found 4 of them: carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, and oxygen in its early flybys, but phosphorus and sulfur remained incredibly elusive. Phosphorus is the backbone of the DNA double helix. It is also the core component of ATP, the molecule that every single living cell uses to store and transfer energy. That changed in 2023. A team of researchers analyzing a different dataset from Cassini's cosmic dust analyzer published a bombshell paper. By meticulously studying the ice grains that had escaped Enceladus and formed the E-ring, they finally found it. Clear signatures of orthophosphates dissolved in the Moon's ocean at concentrations hundreds of times higher than in Earth's oceans. And in late 2025, researchers reanalyzing Cassini's fastest pass through the plumes found clear evidence of esters and ethers. Because these specific organic molecules are fragile and break down quickly in space, it proves they were synthesized deep within the ocean and ejected shortly before Cassini caught them. The hydrothermal vents are active right now, and we don't just have to rely on decade-old Cassini data to prove how active this moon is. In 2022, the James Webb Space Telescope turned its infrared gaze towards Enceladus and captured a single continuous plume of water vapor shooting out of the South Pole that spanned over 6,000 miles into space. That is a geyser stretching roughly the distance from Los Angeles to Buenos Aires. JWST proved that Enceladus is currently pumping out water at a rate of nearly 80 gallons per second, actively feeding the entire Saturnian system. But with all of this incredible evidence, you might be asking an obvious question. If the ocean is perfectly primed, churning out the exact chemicals needed for biology, why didn't Cassini just find the alien life itself? The answer comes down to engineering. Cassini was built to be a weather and geology satellite, not a biology lab. Its instruments were designed to weigh molecules, measure magnetic fields, and identify basic chemistry. They simply lacked the microscopic resolution and the specific technology required to detect a living cell or sequence a strand of alien DNA. Cassini couldn't find actual alien life because we didn't give it the eyes to see it. It was searching for the smoke, not the fire. However, with its data, we now have a beautifully complex picture of an entirely alien astrobiological reactor. We have a vast ocean of liquid water. We have a steady, reliable heat source. We have a rocky seafloor producing hydrogen gas. Now we need a next-generation space probe to go back, lean over the edge, and actually look. Until then, Enceladus remains one of the most compelling targets for discovering life beyond Earth.